Well, I think our trip didn't necessarily focus on the education system, per se. I think rather it gave us a small look into the world of an educational system that was trying to preserve itself within a larger educational system that didn't support it.
Te he prometido que te de olvidar cuánto has querido, yo te supe dar, solo y herido, oh, 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 así me dejas, sabiendo que mañana irás con otro al altar. Llorarás, llorarás por tu
I think I was really excited to come to Guatemala to learn from the community about how they empower students through cultural education, especially it being a community of indigenous people that practice the Mayan culture and that it has been erased in their history throughout the years.
I was really just looking forward to seeing how schools work in Guatemala, how the culture is here, and just to really compare and contrast and get a better understanding of a more international education.
Prior to going to AB Guatemala, just looking over the itinerary, I had a general idea that we were going to be working at school and learning about Mayan culture, but not to the extent that it actually happened. I was really happy and really surprised at how intertwined the students are with their Mayan culture and the Mayan tradition and how big of a role that plays in their everyday lives.
llorarás, llorarás por tu capricho. Si yo sé que es a mí a quien quieres. No.
Well, on the first day we had a lot of activities planned actually. We went to Antigua, which is the former capital of Guatemala, and it's a very Spanish-like town, like in the architecture. And then we went to the Mayan ruins of Ixinche, and we got to learn more about the Mayan kingdom of Quiche.
And the city was set up with 3 different sections of temples. One was dedicated to the sun, the moon, and the wind. Those were the 3 main natural forces by the Mayan religion.
Actualmente contamos con 138 estudiantes, de las cuales 71 son señoritas y 66 son jóvenes, o sea, varones. Esto se traduce de que hay una más percepción de educación para las jovencitas, ¿verdad? Para las niñas.
Algo bien importante es que no manejamos la uniformidad, sino que respetamos las culturas de todos los jóvenes.
So the school promotes the students' culture in various ways. The students can wear a uniform, and they can also wear their typical cultural dress, which is really cool to see the mix of the two. In addition, they also study their native language, Quechua, and they read different texts about their culture.
También otro de los enfoques que tiene el Centro Educativo Pavarotti es valorar la cultura. Y cuando hablamos de valorar la cultura, no simplemente es hacer un baile, sino que también tiene que ver toda la ciencia, lo que lleva la cultura maya, el idioma, la música, el arte.
When we were giving classes, I was kind of surprised to see that classes are only from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and there's like 6 periods of around 35 minutes each. Here in the US, it's usually from 8 to like 3 p.m. And the reason that these kids have to leave at 1, that they leave at 1, is being that the majority of these kids, unfortunately, they have to work right after leaving school. Kind of sad to see that this is the only time these kids have to be themselves and to actually enjoy their childhood is when they're at school, and it's such a limited time. And it was just great seeing how involved and how happy they were.
Se respetan las habilidades de cada estudiante, se valoran las actitudes de cada uno de ellos En otros establecimientos mantienen mucho la uniformidad, queremos que todos sean iguales. Por ejemplo, tenemos talleres y eso es algo bien importante, cada joven se adapta según su habilidad, entonces no es obligatorio estar en tejeduría, no es obligatorio estar en computación, sino que se dividen. Cuando ya todos hayan encontrado su área, se desenvuelven en el área correcta.
There was a lot of discussion when we met with the teachers and even with some of the students how there is a disconnect between the government's standards for education and the education that the teachers were trying to promote for the students that incorporated not only indigenous beliefs but also more contemporary ways of thought.
Like the barriers that exist for students and families for their students to have equitable access to a quality education is so ingrained through systemic issues, and like there's just so much that I think about systemic change that needs to happen to help provide all these children with the opportunity to go to school and continue their education past like graduating through Centro Educativo.
El centro es un gran sacrificio personal, tanto del equipo del centro, de la directiva del centro, que hace muchas luchas para mantener el centro, y estos amigos que nos apoyan. No tenemos fondos de gobiernos, no tenemos fondos privados, no tenemos fondos de nada. O sea, este es un centro autosostenible.
So for me as a future educator, it's been super impactful to get to learn and observe from the teachers. We had the chance to sit down and talk to them, and they teach about four subjects each, and they teach it at every grade level, so there are 5 different levels, and they can balance it all. And what's more important, what they said that this job is more than a job, and they're willing to give up their social life for the sake of changing Guatemala, which is really, really impactful to hear. And you can really see that's something that they believe in. That's something that, as a teacher, I hear people say a lot, like, oh, I'm being an educator not for the pay, but for the world. But here we really felt it, and we see it in the classrooms. The students really confide in their teachers, and their teachers really care for them and take the time to get to know each one of them as an individual.
Even with the lack of resources, the teachers here, they don't waver with their passion and dedication to the craft of teaching, the art of teaching, and their calling as teachers. And I think that's an intangible that, you just can't learn, and that's something I really hope that, you can bring back, and just that passion, and just say, hey, it doesn't matter what we have available to us, we need to make the best of a situation. Same even with, learning from the students of all the obstacles that they've overcome. I think it's just provided me a better perspective, just in the sense of how to approach things in life, and don't make excuses, but take action and take a positive action, and just take whatever resources you have and try to make the best of it, I guess. We did met a spiritual guide in a Mayan ceremony, which was incredible. That's definitely something I'm never going to forget.
It was just such a unique experience, and I think what really helped is all the background information we had on just the Mayan calendar and how it works, and the Nahuales, and how the different energies are intertwined with Earth, and it's specific to each person.
But we basically got Mayan Calendar 101 for a couple of hours. The Mayan calendar has 20 different Nahuales, and there are 13 different energies on the inside.
It was just great to see how interactive he was and how much knowledge he had. I recall at some point during the ceremony he listed off like 300 names back to back. It's crazy to think how much knowledge this person has, like, in their mind, like he didn't read from anything.
And we did a walk around through a botanical garden, which is just full of medicinal plants that the spiritual guides uses to like cure for like cramps, to like liver problems, to heart problems, and it's all very interesting. Friday was an intercultural exchange, so we did our dance and the students did their dances.
It was the heart and it was the passion with which they presented the pride that they had in who they were and what they wanted to share with us that I found so much joy.
Para mí lo más importante es que haya un intercambio entre estudiantes y entre personas, entre comunidades, entre realidades. Ese intercambio es muy educativo.
I think the main takeaway is the kind of giving culture and the open arms they receive people with. Almost every time we went to go visit someone, bring out chairs and offer coffee or water, what have you. And even the kids at the school, they were very open to conversation and really wanted to share, what they knew and just wanted to learn from us as much as we wanted to learn from them.
Appreciate your education. Education is very much a privilege, even here where it's a right. It's very much a privilege, and just expand your knowledge on the world. Don't think of countries outside of the U.S. as they're needy, they need help. Yes, that's very much true that they need help, but they also need somebody to just be there with them and show them that there's a lot more to offer than what you see on the news.
Y con esto ustedes pueden hacer una misión, ¿verdad? Una misión de educación para la vida, educación para la paz y para el respeto de las culturas, que es lo que nosotros tratamos.